Welcome back to the dumbest bill in America. We have, of course, Delegate Brian Chisholm. Welcome back, Brian.
Good to be here.
We're calling this podcast property theft, Brian. Yeah, property theft. Imagine that. You're in Maryland and most blue states and the Democrats are trying to steal your property. Oh. Well, Bill Maher, the comedian, just talked about this on his podcast. And he was talking about specifically Mamdani, the mayor of New York. Mamdani's top aide talked about seizing private property. We have this clip. Here it is.
Mamdani's aide, his top aide, Sia Weaver, said, if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize property, it's over. And impoverish the white middle class. What? That's a goal? You know you're supposed to scare people into voting for you, right?
Oh, hey, Brian, what do you think?
I think it's like, the famous saying, well, it's not really happening, but we're glad that it is. Because this is what they expected. I mean, we're
But wait a minute, she's literally admitting, his top aide, that they want to seize private property and that private property rights aren't allowed, especially based on the color of your skin.
It just goes to show first of all, it's ignorance, right? So she's like, it's the government's rights. Well, the government doesn't have any rights, correct? The people have the rights. It's called the Bill of Rights for a freaking reason. It was the rights of the people to say, this is what the government can't do. And we sit here with these bats every time we do a podcast. And it reminds me, I'm like, Al Capone could thrive in this system, walking around with his bat, stealing people's property. I mean, this is nuts. I mean, socialism's on our shores now, right?
Oh, for sure.
And they're embracing it.
In blue states, primarily.
And Bill Maher is what? He is an old Democrat liberal.
Absolutely.
And when it starts to scare people like Bill Maher, and he's like, you guys have lost your freaking mind. I mean, where does it end? I mean, are we going to go straight? I think that they probably just skip socialism at some point and just say, we're full communist.
Well, it's interesting. In New York City, they want to put a tax in place that actually attacks only people who are well off. In other words, a property tax I'm referring to. So everybody pays property tax who owns property. But in New York City, they're like, well, some people should pay more property tax than others. And then the Mamdani administration doxed the well-off people. And there were actually Democrats, like old school Democrats in New York, who voted for Mamdani, who said, we just had a healthcare CEO who was murdered because people thought he was making too much money. And then now you're doxing people that own valuable property. What's to stop these crazy people on the left, the communists, from just going out and randomly shooting them, going to their houses now that they have been doxed? So this is the whole part, Brian, this is the whole part of socialism and podcast listeners. It's to create envy, right? It's not to hold people accountable for not doing what they need to do to make their lives better. Oh, no. It's to create envy so that you actually want to take up arms and murder people and steal from people. And that's what the Democrat Party is becoming.
Yeah, well, it's evil propagated by lies, right? That's all. But this is a great example of, it eats itself, and they will eat each other. When we're talking about New York City, I would say, and I'm pulling this out of the top of my head, I'd say 85% of the wealthiest people are all Democrats, right?
Yes, they're
and that's who they're going to go after. And
exactly.
It sounded to me when she made that comment that she wants to start with the white people first, and then believe me,
right?
There's a lot of rich, very rich minority black. There's a lot of black people in New York City that are well off. There's probably a lot of rich Hispanic people. So how are they going to figure this out? At some point, this with socialism, you run out of people. So they will eat everybody until the whole thing implodes, and then we're all impoverished. Well, that's very good. Thank you, Democrats.
And Brian, in the Maryland Democrat Party, they keep putting bills in to make it harder and harder for people who want to buy and build apartment buildings to do so because, landlord bad, right? But the thing is, you actually need people to invest and build these new apartments and condominium complexes. And the more that you have, if you have a larger supply, guess what happens? The price goes down. But the Democrats they want to literally control that entire process. Go ahead. You know a lot about this because you're kind of in this space.
Well, I just was reading something not that long ago about this. And The closest thing we have to New York City in Maryland is probably Montgomery County, right? I mean, that's the crazy of the crazies, right?
Yes.
Montgomery County had zero permits applied for the last quarter. You know why?
Why?
Because the builders are like, screw you. We're not building shit here. You guys are nuts because they can't sell. Landlord's not going to buy in Montgomery County. Are you kidding me? They had zero. What do you think that's going to do to the housing market?
Well, Brian, I'll throw it back to you in a minute. Podcast listeners, you'll love this. Brian will like this too. And so will Chris, our producer, who's behind the camera. So I had to build a cell site because that's what I do in Montgomery County. This is really recent. And it was in the middle of a field, and it had a small gravel driveway off of the main public road, very short driveway. And the only people that could ever use this driveway would be people going to the cell site, because the only thing at the end of the driveway on either side and at the end was a cell site.
Yeah.
And the county made me put a stop sign as you're leaving the cell site. The county said, you need to put a stop sign there. I'm like, people don't know that they're supposed to stop at the end of the gravel road before they go into the public road. So, Montgomery County. Final thoughts.
This is bureaucratic idiots at their very best. What they really want, he doesn't really give a shit about the stop sign, does he, Mark? He wants people to know, hey, I have the authority to force you to put a stop sign here, even though nobody really is going to just run out into the middle.
And by the way, Brian's dog is visiting.
Yes, I just noticed Cabo has shown up.
Thank you, Cabo. We appreciate it.
He heard us talking about idiots, and he's like, where are they? He knows they're not here, so he was guarding against idiots.
Cabo. And that's the dumbest bill in America, property theft. We'll see you next time.